You have to spend money to make money, but you don't often hear that you have to lose money to make money because, well, you don't. Loss-leading strategies have been part of sales techniques for decades, ranging from outrageous sale discounts to free product inclusion and unbelievably low prices. By making the right moves, you can end up getting a deal that's better for you than the company you bought it from. With that in mind, let's take a look at some of the companies that you can rip off. Boohoo. In the UK, a recent fast fashion phenomenon has taken the clothing industry by storm. Companies such as ASOS and Pretty Little Thing are dominating the online market. But these fast fashion giants have begun to suffer under the intense profit pressure their sale-intense marketing has created. The only survivor? Boohoo. There's something this company provides which the others don't. Very cheap clothing. Sometimes you can pick up dresses on the website for as low as £2 or £3. Carol Kane, co-founder of Boohoo, said the dresses cost as low as £3 to make, so after shipping, admin, and labor costs, the product is always being sold at a loss of around £10. So why not increase the price? Because they prey on our online behavior. Customers never typically buy just one thing online. It's much easier to buy everything you want at once and justify the shipping price. The £5 dress works as a hook. To its target audience of 16 to 30-year-old spend-savvy females, the dress is a bargain. But to really get their money's worth from the £4.99 shipping, they'll likely purchase several other items as well. But do you want to really rip them off? If you were to only purchase from the £5 dress section of the website, they wouldn't make a penny off you. Who's boohooing now? Prime Day. In 2017, Amazon announced that Amazon Prime Day, a day of deals exclusive to Prime subscribers, had outsold Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. Since then, it's grown even bigger with over 175 million items sold in the 2019 sale. It sounds like good news for Jeff Bezos, but according to e-commerce fulfillment firm Parcel Heroes head of consumer research David Jinks, 2017 Prime Day caused an estimated $700 million loss against its standard, and Prime Day 2019 saw customers save over $1 billion on purchases. It makes you question Amazon's model. How does such a discount-aggressive strategy benefit Amazon? Well, it's why they only do it once a year. If every Amazon customer only bought items on Prime Day, you can bet they'd stop it in a heartbeat. But the day acts as its own promotion, with people buying full-price products all year round after seeing how quick and easy the whole online process is. You can have almost anything in a box delivered to your door within a day, and who doesn't want to use that? But if you want to rip Bezos off, now you know which day to do it on. Vegas hotels. Why would you holiday in Las Vegas? The sights? The cuisine? Well, the casinos? Now you're talking. In 2018, Vegas saw 42.1 million visitors head down its famous strip, with their direct and induced spending contributing a huge $57.6 billion to the economy. But Vegas is billed as one of the cheapest holidays you can take in America, with hotel costs for a double room as low as $20 per night. Even I know $20 isn't enough to turn a profit, after you take things like cleaning and maintenance into account. So seeing as there's so much demand, why offer room rates so low? Because the appeal is the gambling. Room price division is designed to get the guest in, and once they're there, they play at that hotel's casino. Surely people aren't that gullible. Well, considering every casino on the main strip has a hotel attached, several business ethics researchers have said otherwise. The rooms act as a loss leader to entice tourists to spend their money gambling away. So if you want to rip off these hotels, get yourself booked into the cheapest rooms they offer, and enjoy Las Vegas's many other attractions like live shows, theme parks, museums, aquariums, and much more. Who's in the red now? Tesla cars. Tesla is renowned for being the loss leader of innovation. In 2013, people started comparing it to tech companies like Apple and Google, and in 2015, Tesla became the gold standard in the market for luxury, long-range electric automobiles. But despite this, Tesla has rarely had a financially sustainable, never mind profitable quarter. In this breakdown collated by data company Centio, we can see that despite record sales, the company continues to hemorrhage cash even after successful quarters. According to Tesla Quarter 3 report of 2019, the total revenue the company made from its automobiles was $14.45 billion. but the cost of producing those automobiles alone was $11.46 billion. Add in the company's operating expenses of $3.1 billion, and it becomes clear that on its cars alone, Tesla cannot break even, especially since it released all of its patents at the beginning of 2019, giving its competitors the edge in creating new, low-cost electric car models and undercutting its future sales. So if you buy a car from Tesla now, it's unlikely to line Elon Musk's pockets. Game consoles. Microsoft's venture into console gaming is known for its three main consoles: the Xbox, Xbox 360, and Xbox One. It's also known for losing money on almost every single console it's ever produced. The original Xbox was released in 2001, and in order to compete with its rivals, was sold at $299, but it's estimated they cost a huge $425 to make. By 2005, it's believed Microsoft had lost $3.7 billion on the Xbox, around $168 on every machine sold. The second generation of the console, the Xbox 360, was released in 2005, and the same thing happened again. Undervaluing its product, Microsoft lost an average of $125 per console sold. Roll on the Xbox One release in 2013, and by this point, it's an old story, with the product losing the company over $400 million. But if you thought Xbox was alone in its loss-leading consoles, you're wrong. Gaming giant Sony released the PlayStation 3 in 2006, retailing for $499. Fast forward to 2010, and it was reported that Sony was still losing about 6 cents on the dollar of the PS3 hardware sales. The PS4 didn't fare much better, retailing at $399 with a cost model of $381. That's a profit of just $18 per console. So why would these industry giants be willing to sacrifice profit on their most valuable hardware assets? Because the money isn't in the consoles. As ZA puts it, it's in the game. If you buy a console game for $60, approximately 11.5%, around $6.90, will go back to the console makers in the form of a console owner fee. They also take money from dev kits, where engineering teams pay thousands of dollars for access to tools that will help them develop a console-compatible game. So buying the console rips the company off, and waiting until that $60 game is reduced in sale means you could be paying them almost nothing for it. Power to the players. Planet Fitness. In the US, the average gym member pays $58 a month in membership fees. But at Planet Fitness, that figure can be as low as $10 a month. Even though that seems impossibly cheap, Planet Fitness is one of the most prevalent gyms in America, with over 10 million members turning over a minimum of $100 million a month. Why is it that in 2018 Planet Fitness restructured its debt from $708 million to a staggering $1.31 billion? Because the costs of growing are vastly outstripping Planet Fitness's ability to get out of debt. According to insights from Guru Focus, the company currently has a debt-to-equity rate of negative 2.95. This means Planet Fitness has been aggressively financing its growth with debt. In perspective, the travel and leisure industry debt-to-equity mean is 0.47. By planning to open a further 1,000 stores while funding the upfront store cost of the 2,000 locations it already has, the company is continuing to dig itself deeper into debt. That means by signing up for memberships that include the right to use numerous locations, you can add to the pressure that Planet Fitness now faces. It forces them to react by pushing their growth even further on the back of their debt, meaning that they technically won't be making any money off you. So if you really want to put the pressure on, you should invest in a secondary location membership. You can be sure Planet Fitness will be the one breaking a sweat. Essential Air Service. It has never been a better time to fly in the US. No, seriously. Since 1978, airline ticket prices in the US have fallen by an average of 50%. Law changes and intense competition has meant airlines are doing their best to put the most appealing offer on the tray table. But if you really want to get the most out of a flight, try flying from one of the many locales that receive a subsidized airline service. Major airlines have abandoned unprofitable routes within the country, leaving it to Essential Air Service to provide transport to these small communities. The United States Department of Transportation subsidizes these services, the savings of which is then passed on to the passengers. In 2017, the per-passenger EAS subsidy in the contiguous 48 states, plus Puerto Rico, ranged from $9 to $778. Despite measures in place to shrink the program, the annual EAS expenditure report shows that from 1996 to 2018, funding has increased by 600%. Because fewer people are flying with these carriers thanks to their location, the cost per passenger are incredibly high. That's because there's a massive lack of incentive to maximize the number of passengers on a flight due to the increasing subsidies. So you don't have to worry about getting enough elbow room on these flights. You're more likely to get the whole plane to yourself. And you can put that on the government's tab. Everyone's private loss leader. This might come as a surprise, but Uber Technologies Inc. isn't actually making money from its customers right now. In 2019, Uber gave its investors a heart attack by reporting net losses of $7.4 billion, a 32% increase year on year. That's enough to buy the White House 18.5 times over. But despite these losses, the same report showed trips have increased by 34% compared to 2018. So how are they losing money by doing better business? Let's take a look at Uber's reported total costs and expenses in contrast to revenue for 2019. Revenue reached a colossal $10.078 billion, but their total costs exceeded that, rolling in at an eye-watering $17.703 billion. We can see in this breakdown that the cost of delivering the full Uber service to their millions of customers was the equivalent of more than half of all their revenue. Combine that figure with the operations and sales cost, and that's all revenue spent. But you can also see here how nearly a quarter of their operations costs went towards research and development, without even mentioning the cost of admin and depreciation. Uber is investing in driverless cars to fuel future profits, but concerns remain regarding safety following the death of Elaine Herzberg, and this isn't even the most mind-blowing part. The largest subsidiary of Uber Technologies, Uber Ride-Hailing, sees passengers only pay around 41% of the actual cost of the trips due to massive subsidies. Investors pay these trip subsidies to undercut fares and leave competition in the dust. Unfortunately, it also buries any chance of ever being profitable without investor help. So you can hit up that app knowing that this tech giant is losing money for every mile you travel. Which of these are you going to take advantage of? Or do you know of any other companies we rip off? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.